boys and girls, we are in the midst of a double shot on STP, Cernapot. It's been, as the kids say, a hot minute since we've done a double shot. But there's a reason for a double shot. Later in the evening, we have, for the first time, Ref J. Cruz. Young kid coming up, doing his thing as a referee, looking very well out there. We have a surprise. First, I was asked to stay late at my work, and I said, do you want to be off with your head? Are you fucking crazy? I cannot stay late. We have a king coming on tonight on SCP. Boys and girls, this is Stir in the Pot with Don Kincaid. And our very special guest, one Stephen Baker. Welcome back to the program, my friend. I appreciate you and your time.
Dude, anytime. You, like I said, I told you from the get-go, we appreciate you a lot more than you probably appreciate us, believe it or not. And I mean that without competition. But every now and again, I know it's been every like year and a half, it seems like, or 2 years, we kind of reconnect and we have a good little STP and just call it a day. I'm pretty sure I saw the other one was like a year and a half, 2 years ago now. Even actually, I think about 2.5 years. Holy shit. Anyway, it's been a while. So it doesn't feel like that long, but I mean, life, I guess, happens that way. But no, we appreciate you. Or I appreciate you at least. So I'm happy to be back for real.
Whenever I saw a message, and thank you for your kind words. I absolutely love your sentiments. But when I saw your message pop through, Stephen Baker, I was like, uh-oh, is he okay? And then I read it and I go, holy fuck, he wants to jump on STP. Hell yeah. It has been a hot minute. Usually I look at these things. For today, I don't know why. I was just like so amped to do this. I didn't look back at any of our stuff or nothing. I don't even know when the last time we spoke. But there was, and I'm going to, and I only got one brain cell. We know that. If I remember correctly, there was a little hint of possibly making your way back. And I know life goes in many different turns, and you just never are subject to change, my friend.
Yeah. So, I got to be real. I don't know what. I think it was a recent thing. It's been going on for a while now, where my brain's like, man, I miss being around the industry for what it was. I know the last time we talked, I'm pretty sure. I was definitely a lot more sour grapes in the sense of like how I was feeling about the industry and the business, because I was a little less removed than I am now. But I mean, it's funny because like I think about it the way it's like, I saw Daniel Baldwin, one of the Rad Dad, was like, the more things change, the more things stay the same. And it's like, I was thinking about it, I miss being able to creatively have an output like with wrestling. Wrestling is just something that since I was a child has always been there. Like I'm sure many of us have, it's one of those things. It was always like a very, very warm feeling, a safe spot. Like I'm even getting goosebumps like talking about it. I just like talking like honestly. And like I love wrestling for what it was. And for a while I hated it. Some like I talked about before, some by my own fault because of ego problems in the beginning, some because of whatever the case may be, just bad blood with certain people. But overall, I have people that like really, I put up a picture, the profile picture, just one day. I was like, yeah, I'll just switch it back to do just for fun, just to see if anything, and like over 100 people reacted to it. I had like 30, 40 people like, yo, what the fuck? I'm like, oh, okay. So people are still looking. Good to know. And that was more of like just maybe I could do this just for fun. Like, even if it's just like, dude, I don't care. Like, I sound crazy. I don't want to work in fucking WWE. I don't want to do this. I want to go out. I want to have a weekend or two, a month, have some fun and just go chill and like try to have a good time. Like, I'm sick of it. There's a lot of politics in wrestling and I'm really trying to avoid that this time around.
Just as any walk of life, if you will, there are those politics, the backroom drama, if you will.
Of course.
But I kind of wanted to piggyback on something that coming back is way different than going away. When you go away, you have a mindset of it's either something health-wise, it's something mental-wise, it's something I hate the business-wise. There's always multiple reasons that surround that one thing I need to get away. Okay, there's always one thing. Coming back, my man, is so much fun. It's so much energy. It's It almost feels like back in the day, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Once you start hitting a show or two, it really feels like it used to when you loved it. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I've taken a couple steps myself. And son of a bitch, my man, if I don't get all goosies just walking through those fucking doors and getting the love, getting the hugs, just seeing people, yelling my stupid shit, having fun.
Yeah, you know,
It,
I think that I'm going to, before I haven't even gone back yet, I'm going to agree with that sentiment, because even before going back, you know, the amount of messages and people have reached out, and some people who I didn't even expect to reach out and be like, oh, do you want to do this? Like, we'd love to have you. Do you want to do this? We'd love to have you, which is really cool. But I'm like, you know, I mean, first and foremost, I want to make something very clear before we start. It's going to be a while before I get back into the ring actively. I'm still working on some stuff there, like really actively. Even if I do, but right now I just know I want to be part of something, whether it be character work, which is my strong suit anyway. So like, I mean, can't hurt, or, you know, or just being part of something in general, because man, like I love wrestling. Like I don't want to, you know, I do miss the camaraderie of the people in the back that were there. Like, honestly, the humidor, you know, was a big part of that towards the end of when I was like being active. And it made me feel like they were the first real like family I felt like in wrestling. And the fact that it came towards the end of my tenure at that time was a little upsetting. But like, you know, I still talk to those guys now. Like the other day, we have our own little group chat from years ago still, and it's still up and running. And we're like, they're like, so like, what the hell's, what's up with this? I'm like, I mean, you know, so things like that. And, you know, Frosty, one of the best people in this industry, straight up to one of the best people in this industry, he always has everyone's back, it seems like, in the right ways. And he's one of the reasons why I'm like, you know, I think if I'm going to do this, I can do it. Because he's like, pretty much, he told me, he's like, if you need anything, you let me know and I make it happen. So like, he's a good dude. But yeah, man, I'm excited. I think the second coming, so to speak, will be a very good, you know, very good, an enjoyable time. I'm not trying to do it for the money. I'm not trying to do it for the fucking being over. I'm just going to have fun, man. That's really what I want to do.
well, a couple things about that. I did share. I saw it on my notification. A page you follow, Leon, has changed it to King Leon the Sixth, and my
Yes.
eyes look like cartoon. What the fuck? So first thing, you can't make us pop like that and not come out the fucking gate. Second, second thing, you do need to be ready before you do come out the gate, so I can appreciate
100%. 100%. I don't want to get into a ring and be 60% of what I used to be. I want to go in and be 110% of what I used to be, because of the wisdom that I got from that time and that I was in. You know what I mean? I think that's huge. You know, the more that I was more disconnected about it, the more I realized, wow, like, you know, Jose Perez had the perfect thing. Like, he, you know, trained me a lot. He was right about making the moments matter. Everyone says it, but no one really knows what it means until you finally know what it means. And I think I think it's hit me. Like, I don't need to go out there and do a bunch of super indie moves. I can go out there and make the crowd remember me doing something else. And I think that's very important. But in the notes of going from Leon to King Leon, yeah, I mean, look, man, you know, we all go through puberty. We all go through growing pains. I had to try the black blade. I had to try this. I had to try some stuff, you know, for my own sake, to say that, hey, I did it and it didn't work the way I thought it would. And that's okay, because this is where my bread and butter is. And I know that is King Leon the Sixth. I will leak something here. So I've been talking with Squire. I don't think he's going to come back to shows. I want to make that clear. So Squire, I don't think will be with me. That's relevant, because he's got his own life, you know, where things happen. But I am definitely going to be working on doing some more promos with him, to put more out, so we can have more promos online. And I'm going to let you know one of the ideas for the first promo. I'm just going to put it out there for you. I think it's hilarious. We're going to be doing an almost movie montage of a return, but we're going to call it a debut.
I think he got a phone call. I think that's what's happening right here. We'll just hang on. There he is.
My daughter was calling. I apologize. If my phone dies, by the way, I'm super sorry. I didn't realize it was, so I'm working on it. But either way, so the idea is to do a movie montage as a debut of King Leon the Sixth, but his name's going to be King Leon the Sixth the Second. So the idea is to kind of, you know, play it up a little bit and kind of go something like that. So we're working on some creative stuff right now, but I think it's going to be fun, man. I think we're going to have some fun with it. We can play that greatest hits with being something else, but yeah. So
boys and girls, I know there's a lot of fans and such that I've met over the course of the past, you know, post-demic if you will. If you don't know, which you probably don't because he's been away for a minute, please do yourself a favor and look up King Leon VI. He's already talked about his character work is a strong suit. Don't fucking listen to him. His character work is very, very entertaining and very, very creative. He's already getting the creative juices flowing with with his with his lackey, if you will, Squire, which is fucking amazing. Personally, I find that just absolutely fucking amazing. But really, do yourself a favor. You can watch some matches, you can check out the promos, but it'll give you an idea of how to balance character and ring. Because MFer, my guy was doing a hell of a job out there. Before, he was kind of getting a little lost out there and needed or felt that he needed an evolution. Now, I want to say something about one of those evolutions.
Sure.
When you change from Leona 6 to the Black Blade,
yep.
I have to say, we've talked about this extensively.
Yeah, we have, yeah.
I don't think I've ever said this. I was so motherfucking excited that it was just going to be this dark, nasty, maniacal, just even more ego-driven. I don't know how to pull this off, but even more ego-driven than what King Leon VI was. And I was super stoked to see what we were going to get. Please, go ahead.
I think that the idea of what I had for Black Blade in my head just didn't translate well into what I was doing. I think that's what it really came down to, because my idea in my head was like, yeah, I wanted to more get in the ring and beat the shit out of people. Like, I wanted to show, hey, I can also be a hoss, a brute. And like, granted, like, I know I can go in there and I could have worked and done my stuff. And like, I was, I like to put myself like in the good, like higher middle tier of some of the workers on the show, realistically. Cause then there was like guys like, just very good indie darlings that were on shows, and they were fucking amazing for what they were doing. And like, but I put myself on the higher echelon of the middle class of that. And I was like, okay, I want to get out there though and show that I can at least be on the low tier of up here. You get what I'm saying? And I felt like Black Blade was a really good way for me to do that, because I can get away from the ha-ha jokey stuff middle of the match and stuff like that, and go more character of like, hey, I'm going to beat the crap out of people. And I'm going to put my promos will tell you why, but in a creative way. And it just didn't translate the way I wanted it to. Because a lot of people actually did tell me that we like the Black Blade. I'm like, I didn't, which is why I went away from it. And like, I liked the idea, but I didn't like the execution. And I think that was the big problem for me. It was the execution overall. But you got to be able to reflect on shit like that and know like, hey, I can't sit here and be like, that was great, even though I know it wasn't in my head. You know what I mean? I got to be able to reflect on those things, or I'm never going to get better or progress or evolve in any way that I need to. So I think that was important to kind of note take. I appreciate the compliment, honestly. From my perspective, I was like, damn, this sucks. Like, I can do so much better, man. And you know what a big part of it too was, believe it or not, it was beginning of COVID when this all came to play, when Black Blade was happening. And my initial thing was like, I had like a black mist thing I was going to do to really sell it. Couldn't spit anymore because of fucking COVID. So like, that was literally like a huge part of it. And I was like, oh, fuck. Because I was going to sell the Black Blade thing as like an internal thing, but that was the point of the black spit. And I literally couldn't. So my whole creative process got like sidetracked and sidewinded. I'm like, well, now what? Because I was so excited about making that like a part of the lore. And it just, what can you do? You know what I mean? So.
You can't be spitting dark COVID at people.
Can't be spitting dark anything during COVID. Nope, they can't be spitting during COVID. I did it once accidentally, like not accidentally, but like I did it and they're like, you shouldn't be doing that. I'm like, oh shit, I really shouldn't be doing that. I was like, okay, good call. Like it was an immediate like, oh shit. So yeah, it was one show.
But the look, my man, I mean, for real, before you even said a word, before like when you were just starting to give us the little snippets and feed us some seeds, the look was just, it was fire. I was very excited. The look was amazing.
I really liked the look. I thought the look I was a very big fan of the look myself. I thought the look was amazing too. I have one picture that I have from New World Wrestling Extreme. It was the match I was in with Dreamer And it was me and Squire's entrance, and like I had like it was just like me like hand out and Squire next to me with the book, like the book of the Black Blade, all that fun shit that we were playing up, the darker look with the fucking face paint, the crown. And it was like the perfect shot that I could have asked for that character. And I was like, man, that could have been so cool if I just did it right in my head. You know what I mean? Like that could have been so cool. Granted, subjective. Some people might not like it, and that's okay. But like I said, I think overall, I think what happened was COVID really just kind of blew it into proportion. But then the more I did that too, I went to Leon. I'm like, okay, I can just be me. I don't have to worry about the super over the top stuff. And I'm like, but the more I did that, I'm like, I want to do these super over the top stuff. So I was like, good here. So that was an immediate, like, I'm all set. I really, I think King Leon the Sixth is where I belong. And I have no problem admitting that because like, it's what got me my bookings in the first place. It will continue to get me my bookings if I decide I want to go back and be that guy. So.
And you did see, the buzz that was stirred when you did change just one thing. That's all you had to do.
I didn't expect that. I really didn't. I was very, very taken aback by that. I was like, holy shit. More people cared than I thought. So I was like, this is really cool to see. Again, I'm sure there are some people who are like, why the fuck is he doing what he's doing? And let them think that. But like, I'm happy to see the people that want to see me. And there's quite a few that I was talking to that are excited to see me. And I'm excited for that. So, it's one of those things, man. Like, I'm sure at the end of the day, I think people got to remember, and this isn't even a way to like, we're all human, man. Some people suck sometimes, some people don't. It's easy to fucking be who you know what I mean? Like, it's just life. At the end of the day, we're all wrestling fans. We all get into this because we love it. Like, my ego took over for a while. I ain't even going to lie to you. Like I've said it plenty of times, there's only so much you can do now. You can only apologize so many times before apologizing is not fucking worth it. You know what I mean? So for the people out there, if you are by some chance listening to this, if we ever had heat, no, we don't. That's on you. So simple as that. I'll shake your hand, give you a hug in the locker room because we're all fucking people. So
yeah, I can feel all of that, my man. I mean, I just kind of surpassed some of that myself.
Did you? Yeah.
This last weekend, little heat going on, and I just looked at this dude, and maybe we didn't have a full blown conversation, but I hugged that motherfucker. He hugged me, and we said a couple words. Like it. You
don't gotta be best friends, man. You just got to understand that you're there for the same reasons.
I just, I don't want fucking heat, and I don't want to have people to have heat with me either, So,
but no one does, yeah. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry, my bad.
No, not at all. I just kind of wanted to revert back to the humidor, and I know we have spoken on the humidor and the origins and the evolution and who's been in it and all of that stuff, but there are, again, post-COVID that really don't know all of this kind of history thing. So I just kind of wanted to spin back to the humidor real quick because you did mention Frosty, and not that we love the anniversary, but there was an anniversary of the passing of Big Jim.
Yeah, I so, the humidor was a stable, technically still kind of a stable, like we were for the humidor, but like, like the idea is like Matt Dominguez, who is Big Smoke, really good dude, very big into cigars. That was his thing, which is why the humidor became a thing. But him and James were big, not Jim Pearl, but him and James over at NWW were really close buddies, I guess, or are. Either way, long story short, they came up with the idea for the humidor. And we actually had, I remember we talked about this, we had different people involved. I was always a part of, I guess, that vision along with Frosty. And then Big Jim, and I think Big Jim was actually our secondary, believe it or not, if I'm not mistaken. I know we had somebody else made Chris Battle. I remember Chris Battle was a thing.
Chris Cannon
Battle, same idea. I'm sorry, it's been a long time. But either way, Chris Cannon, we had a lot of people who were kind of on deck, and turned out to be me, Frosty, Matt, and Big Jim. And, God rest his soul. I miss that big lug. He was such a fucking good dude. Like, actually, believe it or not, and I'm not trying to take off of anything, like his death was actually a big catalyst for me saying, why the fuck is all this heat relevant? You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those kind of things. Because he had heat with some people that realistically he didn't deserve. And I know that for a fact because we've talked about plenty of stuff, like just generally, before he passed away. And, it's like looking back, it's like these people who had heat with him are like, damn, that sucks. I'm like, why are we doing that? So going back around, you know, Humidor kind of popped up and we became a really, really cool group in NWW. I really liked that. That was where I got to shine with Leon, or at least attempt to. I got to face Gangrel as Leon. I really wish it was King Leon looking. Was it King Leon? I was King Leon. Fuck yeah. No, I was for that one. But for Dreamer, I wish I had a chance to do the King Leon. And, you know, but the Humidor was really cool, man. It was just us fucking three big dudes and a large manager, and it was very intimidating presence. And like I said, Big Jim was like the biggest of big at all times. His name did not fucking lie. That man was massive. I never understood how he got as wide as he did. It was very impressive. He was like a fucking boulder. So, you know, it's just, it was funny. There was one night, actually, I'll give you a fun little story. It was, I think, one of our last nights as me as Leon and the Humidor and NWW, and we all took a picture together. I have it in our chat. And basically, it was our last picture as a group together before Jim passed away, unfortunately. And I was wearing like this tie with these suspenders. Like I was trying to go for like this like different look just for like the night, like just because like to match them and like look more like classy, but not, you know, it was wear one of those. And it's funny because Jim's like, "Oh, what are you, just a baby me now?" I'm like, first off, I know you're bigger than me, but come the fuck on. And what do you mean? And he showed me that he used to wear the same exact outfit and I didn't know that. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Why did it happen? And I literally changed right then and there. Like I was like, fucking old clothes, here we go. Put them right different on. I was like, no, we ain't doing this. Because I just looked like a baby Big Jim. And I just thought that would be fun. So I got shit on all night from those guys. They're like, oh, it's okay, Jim. I'm like, fuck off. Like it was good. It was. Yeah. So yeah, honestly, the Humidor was awesome, man. I loved those guys. Still love those guys. Not even love. Those guys are great. And obviously wish nothing but success. I see Frosty killing it out there, and that makes me so happy. The dude's fucking fire right now, and I love it.
Two things on that. The fan roundtable wanted to give you their regards. Two specifically. One friend, Eric Hunting, and one brother, Bob Thorpe.
Oh yeah.
Always loved you as a wrestler, as a character, and as a human.
Awesome.
They wanted me both to give you their regards because they big Humidor fans as well. Eric was so high in Humidor. So they definitely wanted to give their regards. And I cannot think of the second thing, and I had two in mind. But again, I only got one brain cell. I'm sure I'll remember. But really, what a hell of a time that was. And I know it was kind of short-lived with the death of and things, but what a hell of a time that was, my friend.
Yeah, you know, I'm feeling a little emotional right now about it. Like I mean, I'm not much of a crier by any means, but I'm feeling it. It's definitely a fucking sad thing. And like, again, what a good dude he was. And like, I remember, you know, talking about it. Like we had that one thing, I think it was the Big Jim Royal, the Memorial Battle Royal thing. Like we had that the first time. I forget exactly what it was called, but we did something along that lines for Big Jim. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think was it Omar that won? I don't remember exactly who won, but like we had the people in the Humidor, we all had a chance to speak about it and talk about it. And like, that was one of the toughest times I've ever had in the ring, because like I'm over here sitting, I'm like, man, you know, I've never shown this kind of vulnerability to these kinds of people before, because I look at it as a job, as a hobby as well, but a job too when I'm going in there. And putting myself out there like that to kind of, you know, mourn the death of a legit good brother, it's kind of it's tough. But like, you know, I think Jim would be very proud of everything that's going down and has gone down since. And I know he'd fucking be like, stop being a little bitch and just fucking, you know. So I gotta, you know.
And to mention HVO, High Voltage Omar, he ended up becoming Frosty's tag team partner in the mix of
that makes me happy. I love Omar. I think the dude's a fucking great person. Again, I want these to be good people going in there to like fucking hold the legacy up of what it is. And Omi was a big, you know, friend of Jim's. They went to the gym together. They did a whole bunch of stuff together. Again, I've always, you know, HVO and myself, we've only, you know, I remember the first time we ever crossed paths, we're like, yeah, we heard of each other, we just never met, and just kind of one of those things. So always had a pretty good like camaraderie between the two of us too. So it's cool to have. Yeah, yeah, man, I miss the guy. You know, it was just a great time of life. It was a very, very fun time, where you know, everyone was going through the hardest things they could ever fucking deal with COVID, and it just turned into this whole thing of like, man, you know, we found the light in the dark of what it was, and it was great when it was great, you know. So I do miss the guy, obviously, and you know, wish nothing but the best for everybody still involved with the humidor and whatever it may be. And who knows, maybe one day you'll see us all together again, but you know, never know. Never say never in the wrestling world, apparently.
Card subject to change. You never know.
Damn right.
I think that'll be the title to this one.
I'm very sorry. I just want to make this clear. I don't know how long my phone is going to last, and I want to make that clear. So if I do fall off, I'm very sorry to everybody. I did my best to keep this charged, and my phone's just sucking today. I apologize.
That's okay. I do remember the second thing, and we can do this. You mentioned Frosty and what he's been doing lately.
Dude.
The Frost Force has become something organically. Give us your thoughts on the Frost Force right now and seeing what Frost is doing.
I fucking love the Frost Force. I love the fact that Frosty has his own following. And you know what the funny thing is like Frosty as a character isn't really a character. It's just him. So like the best part about Ryan Frost is that you are cheering for Ryan Frost, the person. And I think that's amazing. The guy, you know, I remember when I first met him, it seemed like he was having a little bit of trouble getting his grip and kind of moving. But now, like, since he's like really been like, you know, he, believe it or not, what I think it was when he met Jim, like really started hanging out with Jim. They went to the gym a lot and stuff like that as well. And it was like, you know, he kind of started to really turn into the person you expected him and wanted him to be. And the dude's fucking doing amazing things right now, man. Like I'm so proud of him as a friend. Like actually, like it makes me very happy, you know, like it's just cool. It's cool seeing your friends succeed and shit, you know, and especially shit they love. Like, and the Frost Force is only helping. So if you're out there and you're listening and you're not part of the Frost Force, get your shit together and gratify. See that Frost 16 shirt? Get one. Frost is one of the best people you can honestly back up in this industry because he is who he is and he means well by everybody. He really does. One of the best dudes in the locker room at all times. So
I've always called him one of the most amazing humans, not even in wrestling, but just in life that I've met.
Legit, such a good person, like actually.
Absolutely. Now we've talked about some of the scenarios of what you have previously done. We've talked about a couple of your peers. I kind of want to, and I know we can't push the envelope and you have no schedule, you have no timeline for this, but I do want to kind of throw, do you have a goal set in mind right now to get out there and have some fun with King Leon the second?
I do. I really don't have a time frame. It's true. I don't have a time frame. I do plan on popping up at shows, doing some character work, having some fun. Maybe I take a bump or two. I will, like obviously in my best interest. But here's the thing. So I found out, not recently, but it's been a while. I was dealing with a lot of dizziness. I've probably talked about this for years now about my vertigo and stuff like that. I've definitely had the conversations before with people, and come to find out, it's not a heart related like I expected it to be, which is great. It's not a heart situation. It's an inner ear situation that, like, I guess I must have been when I was wrestling, knocked some crystals loose. So I have like a certain kind of vertigo, which if I go a certain way, it makes me really dizzy. It makes it tough to. So I got to find a way to battle that. One of the things is weight loss. Like I've been working on some weight loss. You know, not down much, but I'm down some. So like I really want to drop some real weight before I get in the ring, and I want to get real ring ready. I don't want to go out there and look like a fucking schlub. So like if I'm going to go out there, I'm only going to go out there when I know I'm ready. And if I'm never ready, then so be it. But I don't see that being the case because when I'm really fucking want something, I make it happen. So
I have to speak about, if you don't mind.
Yeah, you're good, man. Yeah, holy just a bunch of tattoos.
Sticks. Bro, holy shit sticks.
Yeah.
A couple things. First off, doesn't that hurt like a motherfucker? Holy shit.
Very much so. It's awful. It sucks. But I really wanted to do it. I'm going to be honest with you. When I opened my business, I was just like, you know what? I started doing well. I started actually making some pretty good money. And I said to myself, I'm going to do stuff I want to do because I don't see myself ever going back to not doing something like this. So, I mean, I'm my own boss. Who the fuck's going to fire me? You know, like that's my situation here. And it's, you know, it's going, like I said, it's going very well. I'm going on year 3 of my business, and it's still flourishing. So, I mean, I got to be, you know, thankful for that. But yeah, the tattoos, oof, they hurt. They're not even close to done, man. I got a lot of shit I still got to do over here and connect it all and more shading. It's going to be a lot of pain left over, but I mean, I said, fuck it. Why not? I mean,
well, better you than I.
True.
And a guy of your stature with no hair, can pull it off way better than a guy my stature with no hair. So
there was one comment that stands out when I was like, I'm going to get my head tattooed. Masshole Mike McCarthy was on my fucking thing. And he was like, this is like, don't, it hurts like a bitch. That was pretty much it. I pretty much was like, yeah, but I'm going to do it anyway. Like that was the time, like, fuck it. And he was not wrong. This is awful. Like it hurts real bad, but I'm glad I'm doing it. And it's too late to pull back now. So I'm just going to continue.
What's the representation? What's going on there?
So it's a lotus. There's a lotus on it. Like you can't see it from here, but there's like, there's like the bud and all this other stuff. It says king on the back of the head, and it's all going to be connected into like one big piece into the neck and to the throat, and on the sideburns going down. So like I got a lot of work still left to do, but it's all going to be pretty much, think of it like a knight's hood. You know what I mean? Like where they got like the chainmail. It's going to be wrapped. It's going to be pretty much like that kind of like coverage.
Before your phone dies, why the fuck are you doing this? Why would you do this to your own person? Oh, I think we're losing them. I think we may have lost Mr. Baker. Got a half hour out of him. Yeah, he's just kind of sitting there frozen. We're gonna wait just a minute. I know I was yelling at him and stuff. Why? I couldn't take that kind of pain in my life. So holy shit. But I am assuming, because he hasn't returned here, that his phone took a shitter. I'm gonna see if there's a message at all. Nope. I think his phone took a shitter. So we're gonna call it here. And I mean, we caught up with Stephen Baker. We got a lot out of him. I know we reminisce about what he's done and stuff, but I really wanted the people to get familiar with Stephen Baker that are definitely not familiar with him in the past few years, because he has not been around for a couple hot minutes. So with all of that being said, my man, I wish you all the best on the weight loss and getting ring ready. I can't wait to see you at some shows, and it's going to be a fucking hootenanny. We have had a hell of a time, and it was only a half hour. A lot of information stuffed in 30-minute time with one Stephen Baker. An amazing, excuse me, an amazing character through and through. You guys are going to love this. Again, take a look back and check it out. If you like the entertainment value part of wrestling with some really impactful stuff, he does this cool black hole slam. Don't tell Jay Bricks, because he thinks his is better. But personally, I think King Leon the Sixth black hole slam is much better. But I don't want to keep rambling. You know I could. This is Stir the Pot with Doc Kincaid and our very special guest, Stephen Baker. Thank you, my man. Thank you, my man.